Yo, what is going on, guys? Matt, as you see, here back with a brand new video, and today I just want to talk a little bit about some of the, we did a, what is it? I think it's a stealth and or stealth slash speed kind of type build for Dayz. So now we're going to talk about a tank build, or what most people call it, just a normal build, where you basically just loot and hoard. But there is actually a strategy to it, believe it or not, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys all about it. So a lot of people may not realize it, but there actually is a actual strategy for whenever you are looting in Dayz, and there are certain types of builds that you can, do if you like to. I mean, you could just say screw it and just do whatever you want to, obviously, but some people want to, try to figure out what are the best ways for certain play styles, and that's really what this video is for. So go ahead and talk about a tank build. A tank build is basically you're heavy. You're not going anywhere anytime soon. So you're kind of stuck to certain areas, like where like if you're in a firefight, you don't have much, freedom to go around, like, oh, you want to go from building to building to building real quickly. You don't really have that freedom or luxury in this one. This is more of a, I've got 6 magazines waiting, and I'm not going anywhere. And I know you don't have as much ammo as me, so I'm going to outlast you. It's kind of like that type. So if you want this playstyle, this is more for you. If you want to just loot everything that you see and be a, complete loot goblin with it, this is by far probably the best one for you. But for anyone that wants the, mobility, but the freedom to, move around and go about as they please, or, just don't want to be, stuck to such little stamina and wants to actually be able to go from place to place, in a quickly fashion, this isn't for you. But for those of you that do want this, type of playstyle, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you some of the best gear and the best gear loadout really for this that basically will make this very ideal for you. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about the food and water situation. So with this one, food, you're gonna really want to stock up as much as you can. Water, maybe 2 full water bottles, maybe 1 water bottle and a full canteen, or maybe you just want to do a whole bunch of sodas, which I don't recommend that. It'd take up too much space. So it'd probably be a lot easier just to go ahead and do, say, 1 water and maybe 1 or 2 sodas, something like that. And, food, really, 3 or 4 cans is enough. Sometimes people want to do more because they don't want to have to go from, inside towns. They want to more or less sit outside and just wait for people to come by to shoot. If that's how you want to take it, fair play to you. But I do recommend at least having 2 or 3 cans on you. More than probably, no, actually, you know what? I recommend 3 to 4 cans. 3 to 4 cans is a very good number for this type of build, because you don't really want to have to go into too many towns, but at some point you're going to have to go in, and at least by then you'll be, at a completely different town than the one you were just shooting at, or, something along those lines. Alright, and so for most builds, I don't really recommend a vest unless you're using it as a backpack like I am right now. I'm not really using an actual backpack. I'm just using the vest. But for this one, I actually do recommend a vest, because since you're basically a walking tank and you're not really going anywhere anytime soon, it's not a bad idea to try like a ballistic vest or something like that, because it really gives you a little bit more extra protection, it seems like. And it's just all around not really a bad thing to have for someone who's already not, moving around as much, or not having to sprint as much, just things like that. I completely recommend a ballistic vest, maybe even a ballistic helmet. Just something to give you a little more extra protection. It's not a whole lot. You might not even be able to tell. You might just get hit once and that's it. That's always a possibility, but I do think a ballistic vest or even a ballistic helmet would be worth it in the long run, and worth a shot if you if you just want to give it a try. All right, and next is the melee weapons slash handguns, because I kind of bunch those into the same category for this one reason, as you don't really use these on players unless you're like fresh spawns, but you will be using these on infected unless you just have like a silence M4, a silence AK. Then you don't really need this part. You can just skip ahead if you want. But for those of you that do want to hear it, for those of you that aren't looking to save any type of stamina and just don't really care, you're just trying to get enough, sit in a few spots, hopefully you'll see a few people, take some shots, then it probably doesn't really matter to you. You could just go with a simple axe or a machete or even a knife, something like that. Just something to get, all the zombies out of the way once they become a problem. because I mean you're not really going to be running away from them, so you'll at least need something to kind of deal with it as the situation occurs. All right, and lastly are guns. So I'm not going to include any of the snipers in this one, or anything that you can shoot too long range with, because I'm going to do a separate video on that actually. For this one, we're going to stick to mainly machine guns, submachine guns, things like that, the shotgun, the repeater if you want to do that to yourself. I don't know why you want to do that to yourself, but hey, it's going to be an option if you do want to do it to yourself. So for guns, I highly recommend at least having one machine gun at all times. So minimum, you know, an M4, an AK, maybe a UMP and an MP5, one of those. And for a tank build, it's good to stock up as much ammo as you can. So you want maybe three to 5 mags, somewhere in that range, all filled up with some extra bullets on the side. So even after you hopefully win your firefight, you will have to reload, obviously. So you're gonna be ready for that. And I even recommend maybe even another machine gun, like if you went with an M4, maybe like an UMP on the side, or if you went with a UMP, maybe like an MP5 on the side, something around the same weight, so that way you'll at least have a little bit of room to run around. But still, this is a tank build, so you're not gonna have too much time to run from one place to another, because you're always gonna be stopping, or maybe you just can't sprint. That's how much stamina you don't need. But yeah, for a tank build, like I said, I do recommend, probably 2 machine guns of some type, or if you want to, you could go like an M4 and a repeater, or maybe even a shotgun. That's actually not a bad idea. With the M4, you have a little bit more range, and then with the shotgun, you have that up close ability in case you need to, go close quarters in like houses, or just something along those lines. And so this way you're still a walking tank, but at least now you have a little more freedom to yourself, and you can kind of go about as you please, having some range so that we can go from here to there, shooting, or if you need to, you can run up on somebody and bam, shotgun, one hit. It just depends on what your play style is like. If you're not like someone who rushes, I wouldn't recommend carrying a shotgun then, because it's not going to do you much good. I mean, it's always helpful to have a shotgun, don't get me wrong, but if that's just not your playstyle, then that's not your playstyle. I mean, maybe you don't even have a playstyle. If not, then I'd recommend, trying to find out what you like doing the most. Everyone loves having an assault rifle. I mean, let's just get that out of here in the open. But, you can't always have an assault rifle. Maybe you can't find the ammo for it. Maybe you just find the mag, but not the gun, or just the gun and not the mag. So it's always good to have a little bit more knowledge of some things that you can always do, in case, maybe you get stuck with a UMP and not an M4, or maybe you get, just a handgun and, no melee weapon, and you're trying to kill infected or someone, or maybe you have a player come up on you. It's always nice to have more knowledge about exactly what you're doing and how you want to do it, and, try to keep in mind any future loot that you need, like, so you're not just hoarding it all, unless you're, doing like one of those playstyles, like a tank, like I'm talking about right now, where you're just eating everything up. Oh, I want this, I want this. I want 1 flashlight, 3 batteries, give me 4 magazines, But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed the Dayz content, go ahead and leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if any other future videos you want to see, just anything else, really. I mean, you just want to have a discussion? Hey, leave it in the comments down below. I read all my comments. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.